So in this video we're going to cover a few really basic ideas to create reverb, echo and such things that we all hear and admire. What is making sometimes the most simple flute playing sound so beautiful and mystical and stuff when we're viewing other people's videos online? Yes, it's that touch of reverb. It's trying not to overcook it depending on the playing style, and the echo as well that's in there too. What are different ways that we can do that on a budget, on a shoestring, as we're just getting to grips with flute playing? What's the first things that we turn to? Well, here's a little bit about my short experience with a number of scenarios. We're not really diving into technical stuff here. This is stuff that's really accessible for all of us, really approachable, easy to learn. We already use it, you know, the way that I do this, we already use it every day. So there's a clue. Stay tuned, enjoy the video, and let me know your feedback. Thank you so much. A question I sometimes get from random people or people that have known me for a while online, just a general inquiry aside from the kind of video content that I do. One of the questions is, Rob, how do I create echo or reverb? And I've been on quite a journey myself with this relatively recently, and I've tried one or two things. I am not a tech savvy musician by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just a guy who picked up flute and wanted to start playing it, having heard it in ceremony. I've done that video before, and so I've been on a very gradual journey of discovery myself with such things, and I've found some very basic techniques and ideas to sometimes amplify sound, but to create that reverb. Because here's the thing, any flute, this is actually a Kaval, but any Native American style flute sounds beautiful within its own right when played in person, when you're in the vicinity of somebody playing it. So like round a campfire or something and somebody's playing flute, beautiful in like a small ceremony environment, indoors, maybe as part of or after a meditation or yoga practice, or like a cacao ceremony or something like that, you know, throughout the duration. Beautiful, just in the vicinity of somebody playing very simple flute. It doesn't have to be amplified, doesn't have to be echoed. Because we're all in different experiences in our environments as well, and the majority of us are playing in environments that weren't designed with acoustic value in mind, we're really at the mercy of wherever we find ourselves. You know, I've performed or I've played in some great sounding small environments, small rooms, the same as I've played in larger environments that also sound amazing, but I've also been in those environments when it hasn't sounded great at all. And the particularly when you're recording through like an iPhone or an Android phone, whatever phone you've got, there's real limitations to what the microphone can pick up, like a small lapel mic like this, for example, or just the internal microphone of your phone is really optimized still for this, and not much more, you know. And yes, it gradually gets better over the years, but it certainly doesn't have musicians in mind, let's face it. So what can we do then to improve the sound quality, the audio quality? Well, there's a few things that we can play with. So I'm going to run through a few scenarios and what the options might be. So if you're just on your own and you happen to just desire to experiment a little bit quickly and you've never experimented at all with any echo sounds or or echo, delay, reverb, that kind of thing, and you've always witnessed people's videos and thought, oh, how come that sounds so amazing? It's so almost more multi sort of dimensional, surround soundy, and you've never really experienced that with your own playing. Then we all have a bathroom and tiled walls bounce sound straight back at you. So one thing that you can do, odd though it may sound, I have tried it, I wouldn't turn the shower on, but if you stand in the shower, it's pretty likely that you're surrounded by at least 2 walls of tiles, and so you're going to get experience. And maybe if you sit down in the bath or whatever, you can experience it there. But similar to that, obviously, we can be out and about, and when we've been local for a while, you might know somewhere in your local area that there's maybe a tunnel or an underpass that's relatively quiet. You know, you sometimes see buskers in cities and they're under the underpasses and such things as well. They're getting great reverb and natural great acoustics from being in that environment. That's probably why they choose to perch there, as well as sheltering from the rain if you're in the UK. But so experimenting in those environments and just recording with a simple tripod on your phone, or get your friend to record you, or prop your phone up somewhere, then you'll probably enjoy more dynamic in the recording and be fairly pleased with that. It's certainly worth investigating. I found a few places in my early days of flute playing that matched that kind of criteria, that sound and feel. It can also add a lot of drama to the visual context of your video as well. I found an old mining tunnel back where I'm from in Durham City, just on the outskirts there, along what is called the old railway line. Underneath there's where they used to pull the coal through and all that sort of stuff as well, you know. And there's a lot of unused old forgotten about sort of tunnels dotted around there, but you know, similar to that, like any underpass really, that might be on a fairly quiet road or something, will serve you really, really well. So there's an option just out and about to play with, and in your own home to play with, that you can just experience some of that echo and that sort of slight delay and reverb and just bouncing sound around. So have fun exploring that if you haven't done before. The second route I went down was to purchase a very small amplifier that had echo and reverb on it. And it was a tiny thing, probably about 6 or 7 inches, 5, really small thing, and I can't exactly remember the size of it, but it was like a large camera size thing, you know, and you could even clip it on your belt. You would plug some similar microphone to this, you would plug into it, and you would mount that microphone very close to, hovering above, the fipple or the sound hole of a Native American flute. I don't have my Native American flutes with me. I'm really missing them actually. I've just sent one off to Australia, and so that's left me without anything other than the Kaval and my Irish whistle, which is behind me, because they've all shipped up to Durham. I move next week. So back to that amplifier though, I found it really sensitive to taps and knocks. You really do have to be careful when you've got a microphone mounted on your flute, not even to tap that hard. But I think I was getting a lot of feedback issues and stuff as well, maybe because it was recording that on my phone as well. But it's a relatively inexpensive trial, you know. You're not working with professional equipment there at all. It's not like hooking up to a really good quality microphone and either, I don't know, like looping pedal, mixers, guitar amps or anything like that, you know. That's another level that I haven't yet explored myself. It is a level that I'm beginning to approach and hopefully connecting with other, I class myself as a musician there, but for the first time probably. more knowledgeable musicians than myself I'm looking to connect with, so maybe they can help bring a sound around my flute and around my voice as well. I've sang for a good number of years in ceremonies too, so I'm looking to collaborate and just jam really, and just to learn the basics, the foundation of all of that kind of more studio-like equipment, the kind of professional performance stroke recording equipment, as well as performing alongside other people, creating sound, because everything that I've done thus far has been on my own. So that is another thing that I can't help you with. I did try and buy a plug into your laptop kind of digitalized microphone, but found it really awkward to get actually the sound to be a constant even through that, and using software that I was unfamiliar with, and I just had a real headache with it. Gave up, sold the microphone and moved on, and pursued it in different ways, easier ways that are more appropriate to me now in this moment, which are literally, I just want to record the occasional video with a bit of reverb, and because I want to improve the sound that often sounds dead, you know, when we're recording into basic equipment such as our phones. I wanted to jazz it up, because the magic of being in person of that flute and in earshot, and which does sound magical, that's lost in recording. I think it's kind of lost, and I think to regain the impact and the beauty that is lost of being in the vicinity and in earshot of a beautiful flute, I think is made up somewhat by using some of the different options to us, whether it's a tunnel, whether it's a bathroom, whether it's jazzy recording equipment, or whether it's something just really simple, just to lift that music, to lift that vibration. Like I say, it's compensating for not being in the presence of the flute. So what do I do these days? Well, it's really, really simple. It's something that we use every day, pretty much in our lives now. Not necessarily for flute music, but it is an app, an audio app. Yes, you can record a basic video on your phone, and then you can take it into an app where you can enhance the sound. You can enhance the reverb, you can make it sound like you're in a church, or you can make it sound like you're in a hall or an underpass, or even just like a large room. There's various different ways of introducing it, or options there. There's also echo options, clarity, boosting the bass, feel the treble, midtones, and all of these things that are actually, you know, you only need to tweak one or two of them to make a real difference to your flute music, to your flute video. And here presto, there you go. You don't need any jazzy, you don't even need a microphone like this. This is great, I think, for giving a little bit more clarity on voice, and that's why I choose to give you guys just a little bit more audio. But it doesn't really make a lot of difference, particularly if I have it here and I'm playing flute. It doesn't make a lot of difference to the clarity in comparison to what I would get if I was just recording straight into the phone. So yes, you want your phone quite close to you. The beauty of using either one of these or the phone as well, and not getting too technical about it, is the microphones that are internal with these devices. They kind of pick up all of the noise. So yes, you don't want to be right close to a road or a busy like motorway or something like that, but it will pick up the sound of the birds, it will pick up the sound of a nearby river or stream, or particularly if you're on the river bank recording something. So bear that in mind as you can incorporate. You want to omit certain sounds, but also you can use that to your advantage and just choose the right environment to record something, and it's going to pick up some beautiful natural sounds of nature for you as well. So that's a huge benefit, and you can still take that into the app and just play around with it until you get a nice balance. So it's the simplest, it's the cheapest, it's probably free, and it's the most convenient, particularly if you're just recording a few videos. Now, of course, you can't take that onto stage, and you can't really use that technique if you're doing any serious recording or anything like that. But this is a video for people like myself that have just fairly recently found themselves on a flute journey. They're my experiences, my short experiences of the last 4 or 5 years with flutes and recording, and that's where I've ended up. Like I say, yes, I'm diving down the more technical route here on in, but I continue to use just an app on my phone to do all of my recordings when perhaps I might have finished making a flute for somebody, and I'm just displaying or sharing that flute's voice. Like I say, it would be quite flat recording into a phone otherwise. It just gives that magic that is sometimes, majority of the time, lost from when you're actually in the presence of a beautiful, beautiful flute. So I hope this video has given some of you some information that is useful moving forward. I'd love to hear your experiences. What are your favourite apps, by the way? I think mine is Clin or something like that. So, but have a look around, share with me in the comments your favourite ways of recording with reverb, echo, good sound quality. What microphone do you use if you've advanced to that kind of stage? I'd love to hear what is a great microphone for share the knowledge with all of us. I know that there are some knowledgeable people on here watching videos. I welcome your input as much as I welcome anybody else's as well. Some guy came on and chipped into the conversation last week, and it was really great, grateful, gave us a few different new flutes to consider, myself on my own journey, as well as sharing his thoughts on improv versus sheet or tab whilst learning new flutes and stuff like that. All opinions are welcome here. I don't believe there's any right or wrong. I think there's just what suits all of us, and I apply that to life in general, and anything that we're talking about. One person's wrong is another person's right, vice versa. You say potato, I say tatty. But that's just where I'm from. So anyway, keep those comments coming. Please do share with everybody, for everybody's benefit, what you record with, whether it's apps, equipment, microphones, amps, small amps, big amps, blah 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 blah. I'd love to hear from all of you. Thank you so much for watching again. Next week I am going to be having just moved house, probably out in the field, and maybe I'll just share a little bit of music. Hopefully it's not raining. Maybe I can get out and just chill out somewhere, having moved in the local area, which is where I'm from as well. Maybe I'll take you to the tunnel. Maybe there you go. Maybe I'll do a little recording in a very old dusty tunnel, which looks very, very atmospheric and sounds okay. And I'll probably boost the sound as well with the app afterwards, but maybe I'll share with you like the tripod arrangement that I use that can just pack away in my bag and stuff like that as well, and we'll do something along those lines. So until then, have a magical week. Thank you for tuning in. Lots of love to you all.